Hey, it's Aaron, the Metal Theologian. This is a little bit funny. Uh, my position's going to be a little bit different tonight because Spencer's been in town and he's working on his car because he's really into this. Look at all the shit that's all over the floor here. Yeah, it's like a fucking exhaust manifold, I think. Shit. Yeah. he's he's like doing an engine swap. He's like swapping a Celica engine into an MR2, and like, if you want to like talk about this shit like in more detail, don't bother leaving me a comment because I don't know anything about this shit. It's all him, you know. But it's just fucking funny because like when Spencer's in town, there's a certain type of mess. It's like a lot of car shit all over the place. It's actually hilarious, you know. I don't know if my wife finds it quite so funny, but on some level she does, even though she cares more about the place being neat, right? All right. Well, so maybe, yeah. First things first. I don't want to spend a lot of time make this whole like sort of a lugubrious Eric Weinbender sympathy-a-thon. But if you watch my channel, you probably know what's going on with him. Even if I hadn't made that last video where I was, had the GoFundMe going and that, which is still open and will just stay open until Eric tells me to shut it down. So. I'm trying to have as little involvement as possible, but everything's set up so Veronica's set as a beneficiary. And by the way, just in case there's any question about this, like I don't know what's going on, and I'm not going to get involved in the drama, but there was apparently some concern about what happened with the money that Brother Brian had raised off his, and he put it in. It's donated in the account. So at least when it comes to that money, Brother Brian's on the level as far as I'm concerned, okay? Anyway, related to that, before I forget, because I will forget, because I'm kind of a shithead. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, so the channel is called JJ22 Explosive Hits, and I'm really embarrassed that I was like this unprepared, but like, I had to stop it because I started saying all I could think of was was JJ's Powerhouse, the band. So I couldn't think. JJ22 Explosive Hits. Anyway, what that guy's doing is he's doing a like sort of like a K-telethon really for to raise some money for Eric Weinbender, and he's going to do like a 24-hour K-tel or stream of his K-tel records basically, and probably related bullshit that's like up his alley. I don't know his channel very well, honestly, but yeah, but anyway, it's just going to be like, I mean, I think it's awesome to collect K-tel records to begin with. I mean, just as, as a project to undertake, I just think that's fucking fantastic. But this guy's going to be just streaming records for 24 hours, like I said, sort of like a telethon to raise money for Eric. So if you want to, get involved or check it out, I definitely plan on stopping by. Although, not while Grown Men Record Night is on. But, I'll definitely stop by there myself, and I'll leave a link below in the description box, too. All right. So this is a record. So the other Eric Weinbender business is that I went up and visited him this weekend, and first of all, he's for what he's been through, he seems like he's doing amazingly well. He's like social and talking, and like he seems like himself, you know what I mean? Which is cool because it's the first time I met him. So that's huge. The other thing though that you should probably know is like, if you're like thinking about him, sending good vibes, doing whatever you're doing, giving money to the thing, but whatever, just if you're sending him any kind of love in any kind of way, Eric appreciates it. Like he's really aware of how much how people have come out of the woodwork, to say hey and just show that they care. So he's really moved by that too. So if you feel like you're way out there on the periphery and you've never met the guy, you just sort of heard about this whole effort and that from people like me, or then just know that it is reaching him. Okay. All right, so this record, and I'm going to talk about something I'm a little bit pissed about, actually. It's really not that great a comp. It's a comp of Cleveland bands, but it looks so promising. I mean, first of all, what a great title. They pelted us with rocks and garbage. And it's just, I don't know, there's just something so perfect about it. The back, not quite so much. Although, something that kind of looks like a lot of the, after hours stuff that was coming out of Cleveland. Yeah, after hours, I imagine was like St. Valentines, where it was basically just a PO box that people shared. I could be wrong. I don't actually know anything about them, but there was sort of this art style going around. I think it was probably the same artist anyway, so it's probably a local guy, and it's good that he got the work and shit. But I don't think the back is quite as perfect as the front. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if the record really lives up to it. It's a lot of bands that kind of never left Cleveland for a reason. There's nothing wrong with them, but like nothing's really grabbed me. With sometimes when you listen to a comp, so I'm trying to give it another chance right now. Other than that, this has been the record of the week, man. Fucking Monkey's Breath by the Meteors. I've been playing this every day, sometimes even like twice. Like everyone in the house is sick of this fucking record. It's funny. I haven't played this to a lot of Meteors anyway, but yeah. And on that note, actually, there's a fucking guy who sells on Discogs. His alias is the In Groove. And he has a fucking channel on YouTube too, which is why this is kind of amazing to me. But I got a Meteors 45 from him too, right? And it was sold to me as near mint, which is cool. But it turns out there's a fucking crack in it, and like, it's really subtle if you're just looking at it. Let's see if you can see this on the thing. If I can get it to show up. No, I'm not seeing it. Maybe on the other side. But I heard it like before I saw it. You know what I mean? So if the dude overlooked it, I understand. I sell records too, and I don't remember what I have all the time, and I have to go back and grade it, and I do the best I can. But this thing is, look, I can't even get to show up on the thing. You might just miss something like that. But the motherfucker, I've messaged him 3 times. And he just won't fucking message me back. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to be cool about this, right? I'm like, dude, fucking either I'll send it back to you and you can give me a refund if I go that route. Or, if you want to give me a break, I'd work with him on that. Because it's playable. I can play this thing and enjoy it. I have records that sound a lot worse. This would be a near mint record if it weren't for that crack. You know what I mean? But it just pisses me off that I can't get the reply out of the guy. And you know something? I would be concerned that he was fucking laid up with COVID or something like that. Generally speaking, if a week goes by and I don't hear from someone, I'm getting impatient, but I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because, Eric, you messaged him, 2 weeks ago, and he's just getting back to you now. He has a pretty good fucking reason, you know what I mean? But this fucking guy has a YouTube channel called the In Groove. He has a shop in Phoenix or some shit like that. And he's posted 3 videos since I first contacted him and said, hey, there's a problem with this fucking record. And that's why I'm giving up his fucking information, because frankly I'm pissed about it. It pisses me off that he's out there circle jerking around instead of doing the right thing, I am not a high maintenance customer, man. I'm chatty and shit, but I can do all business too. But this is bullshit, man. And I understand this is, if you're busy and shit. But you fucking sold me a defective record. So, fucking... So, I bring all this up, aside from just sort of general vindictiveness. The reason, although, I like to support these kinds of people, and this is probably just a regular fuck-up. If I were in Phoenix, I would probably go to a shop and, not be angry. It's not like that. It's just, But just, okay, answer fucking emails if you're selling shit. I'll cut you all the slack in the world as long as there's nothing else going on. Dude, I'm fucking just overwhelmed. You just give me a few days. I can't even think about this right now. Record store day, blah, blah. Cool, man. We'll talk about it in a week or 2. Just don't fucking treat me like a chump, God damn. And actually, and here's a corollary. As a seller, if you're a customer, don't ask for fucking pictures unless there's really a good reason to. If someone says a record is VG+, they're doing the best they can. You know what I mean? Fucking don't ask for pictures. If they say it would be near mint, but I'm giving it a VG because of this mark, okay, that's one thing. If they say it's autographed, but don't fucking just ask for pictures because it's annoying. And the other thing is, as a seller, when you send me a question, when you ask me for pictures of a record, there's one thing that I know for absolute damn fucking sure. You're not going to buy that record. Because you fucking never do. So if you're actually interested in a record, don't fucking ask for a picture because the seller is going to think you're full of shit. Because you probably are full of shit. And it's not my fault. And I don't even care if this seller's the In-Groove, who I'm kind of mad at right now. Like, I fucking got a bone to pick with this motherfucker. But don't ask him for pictures either. He doesn't deserve that. Yeah, so it's funny, and I've been in this weird place where I've mostly just wanted to listen to the Meteors and, like, other shit. But I've been playing a lot of, like, Here Lies Man for some reason. And, like, I pulled this one out because I probably played it less than the first and the fourth, which is actually also right here. It's such a cool cover, too, you know? But these records are just fantastic, man. Fucking Here Lies Man. I don't know how they do it, but it's like... And it sounds so lame to say, like, Black Sabbath playing Afrobeat or something like that. I mean, it just sounds so hokey. I don't have a better way to describe it. I'm actually working on it. If I come up with something, believe me, all you out in YouTube land are going to find out for sure. Here's another record I was going to hype actually a couple times ago, and I kind of forgot about. This is one of the few sort of punk things I still have. You know, I joke about that, right? I talk about how I only kind of kept the weird ones. Well, this one qualified, man. Like, this one's English, and it kind of shows with, like, sort of that humor that I kind of don't like so much anymore. But what this is, more importantly, and they're not any more cloying than the Twinkies or someone like that, who are also great, right? But, like, yeah, Punishment of Luxury, though, it's just, like, a weird sort of record. It's like, I want to compare them to Killing Joke, but Killing Joke isn't really a good reference point, except for the fact that there's a certain sort of, like, color about it that they have in common. Maybe it's just, like, the, you know, DIY aesthetic, because Killing Joke is dark, and these guys aren't really all that dark, you know? But, like, as kind of goofy as these guys can be, sort of from time to time, like in the cover and shit, like, it's really committed to the rock of it with the heavy beat and just sort of the general weirdness of it. Sort of, you know, I don't know, you know, I'll just put it on for a couple minutes. Fuck it. I'm in trouble describing it. It's a weird record, though, and it's one you don't really hear people talk about it very often. Although I guarantee you there's going to be at least one or two people in the comments who go, oh, yeah, that's a good record. I forgot about it. It seems to be one of those records that, like, you know, isn't completely unknown. Some people know about it, and most of the people who know about it seem to appreciate it. But I actually discovered this band when I was working in the record store when I still lived in Cleveland. I was probably, like, maybe 18 at the time, something like that. I already knew Can. But that was about it when it came to the German shit. And we had this guy who was kind of a regular who I sort of made friends with. And he asked if I knew Faust. And I was like, no, I didn't. I've never heard of him before. So he was like, well, listen, man, let me fucking hook you up. Like these UA labels. So he brought me a tape that had Faust on it and some Cluster. And then on the other side, it had this Punishment of Luxury album. And I'd never heard of him before, and he kind of left it there for me. Like, when he actually gave it to me, we didn't have a chance to talk about it. So I basically just went in and listened to this completely blind. And I didn't even know what the cover looked like at that point. I just had this fucking homemade tape. So that was my first exposure to this band. And it's really different. Like, as a pairing goes, like Punishment of Luxury on one side and Faust on the other is not like the most apt thing ever. But in a way, I can kind of see the logic of it too, you know? Hyping Soulgrinder again today too, by the way. See, that's like driving, and I mean, it has that punk aesthetic and sort of sound to it, but it's a little bit more forward driving, at least in contemporary shit, you know what I mean? For like the end of the 70s, this sounds really sort of decisive in a way that most of punk did. Which is something I like about the punk from that era, it's that way. Maybe I'll come around on this compilation of Cleveland bands one of these days. yeah, so I've been listening to those records. Okay, the Meteors. I talked about the Stranglers last time. I think then Here Lies Man and the Residents. I feel like I'm forgetting something here. You know, here's an interesting one that Mibber sent me a long time ago. Like I assume y'all there's his note from the one and only Mibber Tube, right? But yeah, he just said this cool psychedelic thing, and I wasn't ready for this yet at the time. I kind of gave it a cursory listen and went, you know. But I pulled it out again, man. This shit's fucking fantastic. So I don't know anything about this band. Except that Mark Mibber, to whom I hope you're subscribed, even though he almost never uploads. He does show up from time to time on Man Cave of Doom, though. But yeah, he was way ahead of me on this one. It's a fucking great record, man. It's like spacey and weird, you know? Yeah, and that's about it, man. The only other thing with this fucking record, I'm just like so enamored with this. Fucking new wave British heavy metal, Tyrant. Yeah, that's been getting a lot of play too. I actually shouldn't say any more about that one because there's discussion of it elsewhere in the not too distant future. Alright, well I think I'm going to go back to playing The Binding of Isaac, so thanks for watching. Maybe I'll turn you on to something new today. Take care.